Hello everyone, this is Mohit Singh Katoj, working as Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department of Tulsiramji Gaikwad Patil College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur. I welcome you all in yet another video of the lecture series Surveying 2. Today we are going to study the topic Basics of Tachyometric Surveying, which will cover the introduction, the various instruments which are used in tachyometry and the characteristics of a tachyometer. So without any further delay, let us begin with our topic. So tachyometry is a branch of surveying in which horizontal and vertical distances are determined by taking angular observations with an instrument known as tachyometer. So in tachyometry we calculate horizontal as well as vertical distances by taking angular measurements, angular observations with an instrument which is known as tachyometer. So in this tachyometry, the chaining operation is completely eliminated. In this type of tachyometric surveying, the chaining operation, the chains with which we calculate the distances is completely eliminated. Tachyometric surveying is adopted in rough and difficult terrain where direct leveling and chaining are either not possible or are very tedious. So in rough terrain or in hilly areas where the direct leveling and chaining are very difficult, in these type of conditions we used tachyometric surveying. The tachyometric surveying is also used in location survey for number 1 railways, number 2 roads, and number 3 reservoirs. Though tachyometric surveying is not very accurate, but it is a very rapid process and a reasonable contour map can be prepared for investigation works within a short time on the basis of such type of tachyometric survey. In chaining survey we get the accurate data, but it is a very slow process. And in tachyometric surveying, though it is less accurate, it is not very accurate, it is less accurate, but in very short span of time, we can prepare a contour map which can be used for investigation works within a short time period. So this is the main basic advantage of tachyometric surveying, that in less span of time you can cover more area. Now we will have a look at the various instruments which are used in tachyometry. The very first instrument which we use is a tachyometer. So this tachyometer is nothing but a transit theodolite which is fitted with a stadia diaphragm and an analytical lens. So this tachyometer consists of two things: a stadia diaphragm and an analytical lens. So we will study about this analytical lens in a separate video, in which we will study what is analytic lens, what are its uses, what are its applications. Now we will see what is stadia diaphragm. So as I told you earlier, a tachyometer is nothing but a transit theodolite which is having a stadia telescope. That is a telescope which is fitted with a stadia diaphragm. That is a telescope equipped with two horizontal lines. In this case you can see here, these are two horizontal lines, line 1 and line 2, line number 1 and line number 2. So these are two horizontal hairs. These are called as stadia hairs. This is stadia hair number 1 and this is stadia hair number 2. In addition to the regular crosshairs. So this horizontal line and this vertical line, these are regular crosshairs which are available in normal theodolite also. When we provide these two additional stadia hairs, then it is called as transit theodolite. The additional hairs are equidistant from the central one and are also known as stadia lines. So this is the central stadia hair, and these two, number 1 and number 2 stadia hairs, are equidistant from this central hair, and these stadia hairs are also known as stadia lines or webs or wires or points. So these are the various names which are given to these stadia hairs: a stadia hair, a stadia line, web, wire or points. So these are the three cases, different type of stadia hair arrangement which can be used in a transit theodolites. So these are the types of stadia diaphragms which are commonly used: number 1, number 2 and number 3. Now we will have a look at the various kinds of telescopes which are used in stadia surveying. So the very first type of telescope which is used is the external focusing telescope. This is the very first telescope which is used, external focusing telescope. Then number 2, it is internal focusing telescope. Internal focusing telescope. And last, the third one is the most important, that is external focusing analytic telescope. External focusing analytic telescope. So this third one is the most important, that is the telescope which is fitted with an analytic lens. The term tachyometer is restricted to a transit theodolite which is provided with an analytic telescope. The term tachyometer is basically restricted to a transit theodolite of this third type. Now we will see few essential characteristics of a tachyometer. Essential characteristics of a tachyometer. So the very first characteristic is the value of the constant F upon I. The value of the constant F upon I should be 100. This value should be 100. Basically there are two types of constant. One is multiplying constant and second one is additive constant. This F upon I is our multiplying constant. And then there is a second constant F plus D. This is known as additive constant. So the very first essential characteristic is that the value of the multiplying constant f upon I should be 100. It should be 100. Then the second essential characteristic, the telescope should be fitted with an analytic lens. So as I told you earlier, the transit theodolite which is fitted with an analytic lens is known as a tachyometer. Basically, in the above slide you can see point number 3, the external focusing analytic telescope, it is generally known as tachyometer. So this is the second essential point, that an analytical lens should be fitted in the telescope. Point number 3, the telescope should be powerful, having the magnification being 20 to 30 times the diameter. So the magnification power of the telescope should be 20 to 30 times of the regular diameter of the telescope. That is 20 times to 30 times. Then point number 4, the aperture of the objective should be 35 to 45 mm in diameter. In diameter, the aperture of the objective it should be 35 to 45 mm in diameter. Why it should be 35 to 45 mm in diameter? It should be there in order to have a sufficiently bright image. If the diameter is less than 35 to 45 mm, the image will be dull and it will be not as bright as it should have been. If the aperture is in the range of 35 to 45 mm, we will receive a very bright image which will be clear and the readings will be crystal clear. The fifth and the last essential characteristic of a tachyometer is that the magnifying power of the eyepiece. The magnifying power of what? Of the eyepiece. It should be greater to render the staff graduations clearer at a long distance. So this point number 4 and point number 5 are interconnected. First, if the aperture of the objective is 35 to 45 mm in diameter, we will have a bright image, and the magnifying power of the eyepiece, it should be in a greater value, because of which the graduations of the staff, that is the readings on the staff at a longer distance, will be clearly visible to us. So these are the 5 essential characteristics of a tachyometer. Apart from this tachyometer, there is one second instrument which is used in tachyometry, and it is known as a leveling staff or a stadia rod. That is equipment number 2, a leveling staff or a stadia rod. Both of these are used in different scenarios, stadia rod as well as leveling staff. So for short distances, for short distances, and ordinary leveling staffs are used. The leveling staff is normally 4 meter long. For this short distance, we use a leveling staff. It is generally 4 meter long and it can be folded into 3 parts. It can be folded into 3 parts. So this leveling staff, which is 4 meter long and can be folded into 3 parts, is used for short distances. Okay, the graduations are so marked that a minimum reading of 0.005 meter or 0.001 meter can be taken using this leveling staff. So this is the minimum reading. This is the minimum reading which can be taken using the leveling staff. Then there is next instrument known as stadia rod. This stadia rod is used for longer distances. For longer distances we use stadia rod. The stadia rod is usually of one piece, but for ease of transport it may be folding or telescopic type. It may be folding or telescopic type. It is 5 cm to 15 cm wide, 5 cm to 15 cm wide, and 3 to 4 meter long. 3 meter to 4 meter long. This is the length, 3 to 4 meter, and this is the width of the stadia rod, 5 cm to 15 cm. This stadia rod is graduated in meters, decimeters and centimeters. So this stadia rod is having the graduations, that is the readings in meters, centimeters and decimeters. The pattern of graduation should be bold and simple. These readings should be bold so that they can be read from a longer distance, and should be simple. Not very complicated cursive writing should be used in the graduations. It should be bold and simple. The minimum reading that can be taken from this stadia rod is 0.001 meter. This is the minimum reading which can be taken using this stadia rod. So we have seen the two instruments which are used in tachymetry. Number one is a tachyometer. This tachyometer, which is having a stadia diaphragm and an analytical lens. This stadia diaphragm and analytical lens. This tachyometer is also known as transit theodolite, which is a telescope having stadia diaphragms. These stadia diaphragms are of these 3 types. This is the central crosshair, this is the upper crosshair, and this is the lower crosshair, and these are 2 other arrangements in which stadia hairs are used. And the second instrument which is used is a leveling staff or a stadia rod. Leveling staff is used for shorter distances and stadia rod is used for longer distances. So with this we have reached to the end of our today's topic. We have seen what is tachyometric surveying, what are the various instruments which are used in tachyometry, that is a tachyometer and a stadia rod, leveling staff, and we have also seen some essential characteristics of a tachyometer. These are the 5 essential characteristics of a tachyometer. And we have also seen that there are two types of constant. One is multiplying constant f upon I, and second is additive constant, that is f plus d. We will study regarding these multiplying constant and additive constant along with the analytical lens in our next lecture. Till then, have a nice time and study well. Thank you very much.